Hello, gang. It's Sunday, the 22nd of June, 2025. Welcome along to tonight's United Kingdom talk. We haven't been here for a few weeks on various different activities happening. Hope you've had a nice day, by the way. It's been really, it's been hot here. Not as hot as it was Friday and Saturday. Oh, my Lord. Yes, last night in the pub where I do the karaoke. By the way, if you ever want to come along, it's karaoke every Friday and Saturday at Central Station in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Lots of fun for all, and you'll enjoy it there. There's our little poster, Friday and Saturday karaoke, 7:30 to 11 o'clock, Central Station, Wharfdale Road, King's Cross, London, N1 9SD. Apparently, I put a poster up the other day. I did find it, actually. I did actually put a poster up the other day. I had the wrong... what do you call it? Postcode up. I had the wrong blooming postcode up there. Yeah, and we don't have any air conditioning. We do, but it's been broken. And it's been broken ever since I've been there, which is about 10 years now. And I'm convinced it's the filter that's blocked up. And I keep mentioning it, and they keep saying, well, we'll get it done. And, it's horrendous. It's just so hot in there. And it was particularly bad yesterday. Friday was actually not as bad as it was last Friday, strangely enough. Here today, it's been overcast most of the day. Not like really dark, but enough to think, is there going to be a storm or not? So I don't know if anyone's had a storm where you are. I think some people have. My friend up in Scotland, DJ Di, apparently they had a storm. I think it was last night. I was listening to my friend on the radio, Alan Ross, who does the midnight thing, and apparently there was a bit of a storm going on last night up there. But we've been away, which took it across 2 Sundays, which is why I haven't been here. And then last week, I was up at the Caravan at the Luxury Waterside Media Centre, and we didn't do a show from there anyway. Let's just have a quick hello to some of you there. Jason's there. Evening to Jason. Evening to Stu. Mr. Joseph McDonald, who's in España. Hola. Hola. The last time I was in Spain, do they class Ibiza as Spain or not? Ibiza. Do they class that as Spain? Because if so, then the last time I was in Spain was in 1999, I think it was, or 96. One of those two. And before that, it would be 1983 for my honeymoon at Benidorm, Hotel L'Orage, one of those hotels, and they have no door on the lift. Literally, they have a sort of a door on each floor, but they don't have a door in the lift. So once the door on the floor is closed, as you go up, you could put your arm out and you'd have it sliced off, by one of the floors. I suppose that's happened before, is it? Someone, or more likely some child, unfortunately, as the lift is moving, they've kind of moved against the wrong wall and been crushed by the lift as it goes up. I don't know. I mean, has it ever happened to anyone at all, I wonder? Horrible, isn't it? So Joseph's in España today. Do you actually have a place in Spain, Joe? As a matter of interest, Joseph. I know a few people that do. A couple of people have said to me, why don't you get a place in Spain? Well, no, I mean, it costs you a lot of money to have something like that. For what? Unless you're going to live there. And then that would always worry me, living in another country. Really. And the reason is that their rules would be different. It doesn't matter where it is. Where, even like a vastly friendly country to us, like, I don't know, Ireland or Australia, something like that. Their rules are always going to be slightly different, aren't they? And you could trip up on those, and take my house away. So it's never really sort of appealed to me, something like that. Good evening to Shania. Evening, Shania. I hope church went round well this morning. I did 2 masses today. Father Danny made me laugh a few times, I have to say. And then suddenly he shoves in a sung version of the Our Father, which I knew, but I wasn't in position. He just randomly started singing it. He does that. But I jumped on and managed to carry it out on the 8:30, and then 10:30 I was ready for it then, you see. Who else have we got here? Muggy on the Isle of Wight as well. Yeah, maybe that's the thing then down south today. It's been muggy all down surf, I suppose. Good morning, good evening to Big G. Gary's there. Evening, Gary. He's been at... But was he at both karaokes? Yes, he was. See, I remember that. And do you know why I remember Gary? Was it your glowing personality and your wonderfulness on the stage? No, it was the fact that you sang bloody Adele at the end. Why? Why did you sing Adele at the end? Happy songs. And the others were all right, to be fair. Joseph does own a place. Him and his other half do own a place on Spain. I mean, it's nice, isn't it, I suppose, really, if you've got something like that. But, it would bother me that, they're going to do like a land grab. You hear these stories, of people that have places abroad, and then the various governments, whoever that is, at the time, suddenly there's this rule that comes. It's like, oh, no, your house is illegal. We're having it back. And then you've lost hundreds of thousands of pounds or whatever it is. It does bother me, something like that. Good evening to Greg. Evening to you, Greg. Welcome along there. Been muggy today, apparently, where Jason is. Yeah, again, south, sort of southwest there. Joseph's going to be 59 on Tuesday. Happy days, Joseph. It's not so bad, is it? It's not so bad. Don't know if it's things start going wrong. I've got a couple of bits and pieces wrong with me at the moment. I'm on yet another load of antibiotics now. This is for the stomach. Apparently, I've got some sort of bug, helio something, which is damaging my stomach. And last time I spoke to the doctor was on this week. It was on Tuesday. Tuesday this week. And they'd done another little toilet test, shall we say. And they found this bug in it. Helio something or other like that it was. And have put me on this course of antibiotics. And the doctor says, I'll be honest with you, we've kind of overlooked this a little bit, and we found this. So this is probably what's causing your problems. And put me on antibiotics and some more of that Omniprozec or whatever it's called, stomach acid reducing stuff. So I've got that at the moment. I've had about 3 days so far. Not made any difference yet, but perhaps it's a bit too early to tell. But I'm getting rather fed up with all these little illnesses and bits and pieces coming up. Let me have a little look there. Good evening to morning to Roy. A nice chat with him on the phone last night, as once again I'm stuck in traffic. Oh, it's terrible. There's this road called the A40, right? Also known as the Westway. And at Baker Street on the Euston Road, it goes up and is an overpass. Except they've been doing roadworks on it now 4 weeks, if not months, right? And they close it on Friday night. I don't know what time, probably about 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Friday night. And so that's your direct route out. And once they've closed that, you start being diverted. Now, it's not a fast road. The maximum speed is now like 30 mile an hour. Used to be 60, incidentally. And gradually over the years, they've moved it down and down. But nevertheless, it kind of runs fairly freely at night time. Yeah? And it must take an awful lot of traffic because the diversion routes that it takes you on are always chock-a-block. And, of course, there's traffic lights to deal with, which you don't have on the A40. Once you're on it, you just keep moving. All the way down to sort of Shepherd's Bushy, Acton way. You just keep going. Once you come off it, endless traffic lights. One of the routes is to go through one of the Royal Parks, the one where Albert is. And it ends up at the Royal Albert Hall. But you just queue everywhere, queue. And I'm leaving the pub about 11:15. I'm getting back here at like 10 to 1. And it's just painful. Sitting there in all this blooming traffic all the time. It really is awful. But, just one of those things. You can't do anything here, really. So on the way home last night, I thought, I'll just give Roy a quick ring, and luckily he answered the phone, and we put the rights together, and then I listened to Alan Ross on his radio show at 12 o'clock, which is always great. My friend Alan Ross is on Reach on Air, the same station that I'm on Monday to Friday. I do 9 till 10 o'clock in the morning. He does midnight till 1 o'clock in the morning, except on Saturdays. I don't think he does it every time, but sometimes on Saturdays he does midnight till 2 a.m. And it's quite nice to be able to listen to someone you know on the radio. And he's quite a professional person. And he's very good. And so when I finish with Roy, I turn it off. You can text into his show, but I don't like to do that while I'm driving along. Or I might pull over. If I pull over into the service station over a bag of crisps or something, which actually I did on Friday. Friday, I stopped at actually near this end, to be honest, in Egham. Pulled in. I didn't really want a bag of crisps, but I was just so tired. I'm so blooming tired all the time. You know, which has got to be something to do with this stomach, and the cough is a separate thing. I'm going to see someone else about that on Tuesday. But I'm just so tired all the blooming time, and I pulled into the station to buy a bag of crisps, really, to try and wake me up for the last, 20 minutes of the journey or so. Just awful. And then sometimes coming back from here, there's a level crossing at Sunningdale. And for whatever reason, it breaks down, often around midnight. Now, luckily, I found another route, right? So if you see a long queue of cars at the Sunningdale level crossing, if I see it in time, I can turn right and kind of go around it and then turn up at the other end. So I must go over a bridge or something somewhere, I suppose. Not that I know, I don't really know where that is, but yeah. These things are sent to test us. Driving around is not what it was, is it, eh? Luke saying, evening to Luke. He's just been to Kent camping by the coast. Oh, how lovely. How lovely. Luke says, we need to come back to karaoke soon. Yeah, when's the last time you were there, Luke? I can't even remember now. It's ages. I don't even remember what you look like now, Luke. Hang on a minute. Let me have a quick look, Luke. I'm just trying to remember what you look like. Hang on. Then I'll get your face once I've seen it. There he is. There's Luke. Yeah, I know it. Oh, there you go. Okay, I got you, Luke. I got you. With your white vest on, dear. I remember you are. The karaoke's still there, yeah, Fridays and Saturdays. And it's so hot in there at the moment. Like, when it's really hot like this, we have no cold air. I've got this great big fan thing, huge thing that I bought from Q-Fix? E-Fix? What's that called, that place? Tallfix. Tallfix or the other one that's similar to it. there's two places, isn't there? Something Fix, and I don't know what they call it. Anyway, I bought that there for about 45 quid. Same one on Amazon was about 75 quid, and it sits on the floor. And, you know, it does make a bit of a difference, but it's so hot in there, you're kind of blasting at yourself warm air. And it's really painful in there. You know, funnily enough, I mentioned fans like that. I don't know if one or two of you have got fans in the house, or if you're really lucky. Like me, I've got air conditioning. I've got four rooms then, actually. This room, my bedroom, my living room, and my kitchen. You might be thinking, why has he got his kitchen done? Well, because it shoves out hot air as well, and it's cheaper than putting on the central heating there. But there's a bloke here in the sun who's talking about aircon and all that, and he says, cool down, I'll never buy a fan again. My hot weather gadget has made my £450 Dyson flagship redundant. So he reckons. Now, have you seen those fans, those Dyson ones? My mate's got one. He's a DJ Chris. He's got one of those Dyson fans. Looks like an oval shape. Is that oblong or oval? Oval. So quite long. Goes out the top like that, not a circle, right? And you don't see any blades or anything like that going on. And I've always thought they look a bit strange, but quite futuristic. But I've often questioned, well, how does that work then? You know, because just basically, it's a fan in a different shape. Now, my mate reckons it's really good. But I have been... Actually, it was at the caravan. When I first got the caravan, I didn't have aircon in there then. At the luxury Waterside Media Centre. And I did have a couple of fans in there. And I would put them on. And I tell you, it's blisteringly hot in a caravan in the summer. It really is. And I had this fan on. And I was very quickly aware it was just blowing hot air at me. So we weren't any better off, really. So I fairly quickly had aircon put in that thing. And that made all the difference. This bloke in the sun, it says, it'll keep you comfortable and eliminates the misery of sweet, sleepless, sweaty nights. Horrible, innit? Eh? Being in bed. It's one thing, you know, trying to struggle around during the daytime in the heat and get your normal stuff down. It's another thing to go to bed at whatever time you go. I mean, maybe you sleep in the afternoon like I do. I have a couple of hours sleep every afternoon. Well, maybe you do the same as that. I don't know. But so even at night, I think Friday night this week, I just had the aircon on all night long. I've got the proper one installed, with the unit inside and one outside. I've actually got 4 fans outside. Because I did them separately. Hindsight tells me that, if I'd have done them all at the same time, you'd have all the internal ones running off one fan. But, it is what it is. This bloke says, living in London during the height of the summer feels like being slowly roasted alive. I know my friend Vera from Vera's Choice in the morning, she gets really hot in her flat at night, bless her. He goes on to say, those muggy, sleepless nights where the temperature stubbornly hovers around 30 degrees are nothing short of torture, as it was last night. When I left the pub last night, right, 10 past 11 I left that pub, and I got in the car, switched the car on, 29 degrees it said. 29 degrees centigrade. Up went those windows and on went the aircon. Thank you very much. He says, for years I thought I was doing the right thing. I splurged on a high-end Dyson air purifier tower fan. And as I say, this is the thing that's like an oblong like that. It says the flagship model set him back £450 for a fan. Now, I'm telling you, look it up on Amazon. You can buy a portable air conditioner for that. A fan is never going to shove out cold air. You need an air conditioner of cold air, and there are various different ones you have. You can have one inside, on wheels, what you can push around from room to room and shove the pipe out the window. That's the easiest way to do it. Or you can have a proper one put in, which I've done in the rooms. This bloke goes, he carries on to say, I imagined it would fill my flat with blissful, cool breeze. It looked the part, sure, but actually cooling the room, forget about it, he said. The reality, it turned out to be an overpriced gadget that simply shuffled the hot air around, though I'll admit it's excellent at banishing stubborn odours. Oh, are you a smelly... Have we got any smelly people here today, I wonder? Are you a smelly person? We don't do smells, do we? Oh, dear. There was one person, no names, of course, that I came across. No names. At the weekend. Oh, my God, they stunk. It smelled like wee. Ugh, awful. Anyway, he goes on to say, having grown up in the hot, humid stickiness of Hong Kong, where air conditioning ran 24/7, I knew deep down this was the only real solution for beating the scorching weather. He said the gentle hum would lull me to sleep. Now, those internal air conditioning units, the ones on wheels, do make a noise, okay? They're not particularly quiet. It's not a quiet noise either. It's a hum. However, when I had those, before I had the proper ones put in, I didn't find the hum kept me awake. In actual fact, it was a bit like a cat purring, and it actually helped me to go to sleep, believe it or not. Yep, the ones I've got now are pretty silent, other than the sound of air. I mean, this one's on there. Can you hear it? Got to listen, haven't you? You've got to listen carefully whether you can hear it. It's just like a sound of air being blown out at you, and so you don't really notice it at all. He says investing in an air conditioner was an obvious decision. It was a total game changer. He picked up his inverter chilly portable AC unit for £180 from Amazon, a fraction of the Dyson's price. So there you go. They got various different sizes, depending on the size of your room. Sometimes I get a little bit complicated. It gets a little bit complicated with measuring things. Like, for example, when buying a portable air conditioner, it's important to check its BTU rating. No, don't get that, do you? No, neither do I. Apparently, it stands for British Thermal Unit and measures the air conditioner's cooling power. So, the larger the room, the higher the number. It says a small room needs about 6,000 BTUs, medium room about 8,000 to 10,000, and a large room 12,000 to 14,000. If in doubt, get the next one up. If you can, obviously it's a bit dearer as you go up the scale. It says if the BTU is too low for your room, it won't cool effectively and will waste energy. If it's too high, it may cool too quickly, leaving the amp damp and uncomfortable. But I mean, mine's great. Mine's great. I don't know what they actually cost to run. I assume they're the same as sort of heating, but in the other direction. If you see what I mean, anyway, you know. Don't know if anyone's got any of those. By the way, there is a phone number open tonight, gang, if you want to call in. That is open now. 02081443477 is my phone number. There's also a text number. The text number is different. That's up there, okay? 07451287337. Maureen's there, texting in. Evening, Maureen. Evening to Maureen. Missed you at the weekend. Was it? I'm imagining that it was a bit too hot for you to come out. Or, Maureen, it was so hot in there both nights. It was so hot. Worst on Friday it was, to be honest. Big G says, I'm wondering if I can do the phone in on the song that changed my life. Yeah, you can do that Tuesday. Would you like to do that Tuesday? I can book you in for Tuesday. Can't remember the song, but the DJ rolled his shorts up and cropped his top on stage singing. Traumatised now. I don't know who that was, lovey. What was the song? Don't know. Too long ago. I'd have to look back. Is that the song you want? Thank you, Big G. G, rather. Evening to Bosch. Enjoy your holiday, Chris. Yes, indeed. I would go out with the evil queen at Disneyland. Warm over here. I'm sweating like a... I can't read that, darling. You know I can't read that. Thank you, Bosch. But I know what you mean. Thank you very much. Oh, we've got a call in. Look at that. There's a call coming in now. Hello there. Oh, hang on a minute. Might be an idea if I turn my amp on, mightn't I? Otherwise, I won't be able to hear you. Who's calling in, please?
Hello, Christopher. Guess who?
Hello.
Voice from the past.
Who is it?
It's a voice from the past. Got more merchandise than anyone.
Oh, it sounds like Roy. Good evening, Roy.
All right, we do. Yeah, not bad. How are you?
This is up north, Roy. This is not London, Roy, because there's another Roy, you see.
Yeah, this is me duck, Roy.
Yeah. How are you? What's the news?
It's cooled off a bit here, mate. We've had a bit of rain today, and it has cooled off a little bit here. In fact, I've not had to have the aircon on the car today.
Right.
I had to go out and buy. I went out and bought a double fan, car fan.
Oh yeah.
To put in the back because I dress my dog up and I take him to shows.
Yeah.
It was too hot in the boot, so I had to put a fan in the boot for him.
They must really suffer, animals. I mean, my mate's got 3 cats. One of them's like long fur, and she just lies everywhere, and she's not doing anything at all, She must be really suffering pets and things like that.
I mean, he's in the boot of the car, but I mean, it's tinted window in the back window, so, right. And he did have 2 fans on him. Then yesterday, I took my daughter, it was her birthday, she was 16 yesterday, she was having a bit of a do on. So I thought I'd take the balloon to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Didn't think the ribbon that hangs down from the balloon got tangled up in the fan, and the fan banged and burnt one of them out. So. Oh
my God! It could have been strangled. Could have been strangled by the fan.
Yeah, so I've got to buy it. I'm going to have to buy another fan for the boot. Although I think the weather's going to cool off, so I might not need them now. I don't know.
Oh no, it is. We're back down to sort of mid-20s, I think, tomorrow, or even just below that, 23, 24 down here.
Oh, good. I'm driving to Manchester tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? Well, I don't think you need the aircon on. Use more petrol, Roy. We can't...
10% more fuel if you have your aircon. If you go down the motorway and over 50, make sure all your windows are shut, otherwise it goes right up.
Oh, well, you've got to have something on, haven't you? Otherwise you'll get very hot, dear. Either have the air cooling on or all the windows open. I tend to go with the windows, to be honest, until I'm in London, because it stinks.
Don't have them both on, I mean.
Eh?
If you have the aircon and the windows open, it uses more fuel.
Well, you wouldn't do that, would you? Why would you do that?
Oh, I mean, I sometimes have the back windows open just because of the dog, but I still got that fan now, so I'm taking my daughter shopping at the Trafford Centre.
Oh, yeah. Is that for her birthday?
She's 16 with an attitude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
that's how they get. That's how they get. What are you buying her for her birthday?
I was going to give her £100, mate.
Oh, that's all right, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
do what she likes.
I've got your card here. I've got a card in a little bit, but at her age, mate, I think at that age, I've been doing it since she was about 14, maybe 13, 14.
Right.
She's got a credit card that I can top up, so I just top that up with money, and then she can buy what she wants.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think probably that's a better way to do it. I mean, I bought great nephew Harry a birthday present this year.
How old is he?
Well, he's 12. I think he's 12, and it was this make your roller coaster thing. And when I bought it, it did say 14 plus anyway. So I bought this thing, and you make it, and you open the box, and it's full of parts. And I must admit, when I saw it, I thought to myself, I don't know if this is a very good present, but I gave it to him anyway. Anyway, funnily enough, I rung up my nephew only today. I said, look, how did Harry get on with that birthday present? He said, well, to be honest, it's still in the bedroom in the box. He said, there's a lot of bits in it. I said, is it a crap present? He said, oh, you'd have to ask him. But he didn't say anything. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll send your mum some more money. Because I think I've given out a crap present, so I've corrected it now. Because you don't want to give him rubbish present, and that's like what you're just saying there. I think it might well be. I just find it a bit of a cop out to send money, but when I was younger and my aunts and uncles used to send money, I was very grateful for that, rather than getting something that you kind of don't really want.
Yeah. I mean, at one time when we were younger, I used to buy presents, but I feel the same because I think I was sort of 14. I will buy her probably some perfume as well.
Yeah.
But over 14, I feel that they're old enough to decide. I've always been very wise with my kids. I've done it with all of them. Christmas, birthdays. If I gave them money, I would make them go around the shopping centre, look at things they would like, but not buy them, and then go and buy what they think they really want.
Yeah.
Because I remember one year Sophie, she went straight in Lush, and there was like a £10 for a bath bomb.
Yeah.
And I said, there's no point buying that, Sophie. It's going to last. That's £10 for 5 minutes of enjoyment in a bath.
I know this one. Children, just like adults, are very different. I've got one child, and not me, my child. I've got one great nephew who's a great saver, and he's saved up all the money you give him. He saves it. He's got a little. I don't know if he's got cash or an account or something like that, but he's managed now to save up a couple of £100 over time. One of the others, right? If you give them money, they literally must go out now and have a look to see what they can buy, and they usually end up with shit. Oh, sorry, crap. Yeah. They usually end up with crap. Yeah. Just they cannot hold on to that money. They've got to spend it.
Burning a hole in the pocket.
Yeah. So I'm not saying one's any better than the other. I'm not saying that at all. But it just shows you the difference, I personally was a bit of a saver. I used to save my money, same as this other particular small person. He's very proud of the fact that he's saved it, So well on the way to purchasing his first home.
Yeah. I was just talking to my sisters, and she was on about her grandchild, Courtney. And Courtney at school was troubled. A lot of trouble at school. They said at school, you never amount to nothing. You'll get pregnant early. This is what the teacher said to her. You'll get pregnant early. You'll never amount to anything. And she left school and went to work at McDonald's. Strangely enough, and she still works there. She works at McDonald's, but she's working herself right up the ladder, and she's got thousands in the bank.
Yeah, there you go.
I just said to her, Brenda, funny thing is, I had a friend called Louis, went to drama school the same time as me.
Yeah.
And when we left drama school, he was struggling to get any acting work. Very good actor, but he was struggling to get any acting work. So he started working at McDonald's part-time, and he gave up on the acting, and he's an ambassador from McDonald's now. He goes, McDonald's send him all around the franchises all around the world.
Gosh. You see, most of those actors, they all struggle to get work. So they usually got to have something else going on the side, like McDonald's. I'm surprised. Or I don't go to McDonald's very often. I've been once this year, which, funnily enough, was a couple of weeks ago. And I'm always surprised. I've gone all these McDonald's. I've never yet come across Joan Collins doing the chips.
Yeah. What I noticed today, well, I don't go out, so I called it McDonald's because I took the dog to a gig, an event, and on the way back I thought I'll get McDonald's. And I sat in McDonald's bay, just eating my food, and I must have seen at least 4 cars came through the drive-in.
Yeah.
And all they had was maybe 1 or 2 drinks. And I thought, by the time you've used petrol to drive into the drive-in, ran round the drive-in, bought a McDonald's drink, and then drove away from McDonald's, you surely would have been cheaper to either have a can of pop in the car or called it a shop.
Yeah, and the rest of it, you know, I mean, I was on my way up to the caravan, so it's a couple of Saturday nights ago, or Saturday, whatever it was then. And I'd gone into this petrol station. When I'm nearly there, we're talking 25 minutes to go now of a 3-hour journey, yeah? When I'm nearly there, I always stop at this particular petrol station, and they had a little thing of tea bags and some cups, and you'd say to the bloke on the till, "Can I have a tea, please?" At which point he'd go round the side, boil a kettle, literally, make your cup of tea. There you go, mate, help yourself to milk and sugar, and you pay him. So I went in last Saturday before last, Sunday before last, and I'm going in. Oh, where's the tea bags gone? I said, all right, mate, where's all the tea bags? Oh, we got a machine now. Oh, right, okay. He said, but it's being cleaned. I said, oh, how long will that be? Well, it'll be about 20 minutes, mate. Oh, I don't think I'll wait that long. I said, which one is it? Oh, Costa. And I don't know, Costa tea is, I don't really like Costa tea. I'm all right with Starbucks tea. Costa tea just tastes a bit rank to me, a little bit pissy. Do you know what I mean? It does taste a little bit, you know, not for me really. All right, I said, did they do it next door? And next to this petrol station is another petrol station, a Budgeons. And he said, oh, I don't know. He said, but there's a McDonald's round the back, which I already know. Oh, right, okay. And I said to the bloke, I said, well, the trouble is, if I stop at McDonald's for a cup of tea, I'm going to have something else. You know. So I went round the back and I said, can I have a tea, please? Yeah, okay, mate. So you got any apple pies done? He said, no, not at the moment. Oh, right. I'll tell you what, I'll have a plant burger, please. Yeah, okay. Do you want to make that a meal? Oh, yeah, go on. I'll have some chips with that and the tea can be the drink. Okay. So I said, you've definitely got no apple pies. He said, well, I can put one on for you. It'll be about 4 minutes. I said, oh, well, go on then. So, of course, instead of having a bag of crisps and a cup of tea, I've come away with a cup of tea, a burger, some chips and an apple pie, and I've still got the crisps in that I bought from the bleeding petrol station.
and nearly £10 lighter in your pocket.
Yeah, £10 lighter in my pocket instead of spending just a month on them.
I just thought it strange. By the time you go right round McDonald's, because I mean this is off a main road, just on Engine Main Road, off main road, you go right round the car park to get into the driving, and you drove round, you used fuel in your car, you bought 1 drink, and then you drive off. You'd be better to stop at the one stop down the road and paid £1 for a can or a bottle of pop.
Oh, you see, you see, the trouble is I don't drink any fizzy drinks. I mean, I might have a bottle of water, but I don't like having that really. I'm just a tea person. Now you say that about people, you know, queuing. You say about that people queuing in their cars for like a drink, you know, and the same with these bleeding delivery drivers. I know people in London who will pick up the phone and order a coffee to be delivered by Uber. I mean, how much does that cost?
Well, I did around here, the minimum charge for Uber, if McDonald's around here, my nearest McDonald's about half a mile away, I think it's £3 delivery.
Is it? Blimey.
So London, you're probably looking maybe a 5 or a 10, I should imagine.
Oh, you must be. And you kind of wonder where all this trouble with money is, don't you? You know, all these people...
See, I'm OCD, Chris, so I've got 2 cool bags in the car. I keep bottles of water in the car, for the dog obviously as well. I keep bottles of water in the car, and cans, and every night I take my ice blocks out, I freeze them, and I put them back in the next morning in the cool bag.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm not tight. It's just how I am. I'd rather just have my own can of pop in the car.
Oh, I don't buy anything unless...
I'll tell you what I've just bought, because that's what I arranged me. I've just bought... are you on TikTok, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen this thing on TikTok. It's a big viral thing, and I've just bought one. You plug, it's like a USB stick.
Oh, yeah.
I know if you've seen them. you plug it into your car. You go on AirPlay on your. Mine's got a 10-inch screen, for the sat nav. That you go on this AirPlay thing comes up. You plug that, and it turns your car stereo screen into a tablet.
Oh, does it? Oh.
So you can watch BBC iPlayer, ITV. You can connect through your phone internet. Connect to the internet. You can watch Prime. You can watch YouTube.
Well, in your car when you're driving along, I see that with the Uber drivers in London in their bleeding Priuses. They're watching the telly.
Yeah, I had it on a minute ago. I wasn't really. She was watching concerts on YouTube, on BBC One. Right. I wasn't looking because I'm looking where I'm driving. But yeah, technically, the idea is you stop, and if you stay for an hour or you camp up at night or whatever, you've got a home entertainment system in your car, aren't you? Video.
Right. I've got Apple CarPlay, but that doesn't show television.
What you do, you plug the £24 off TikTok. It's just a USB stick. As soon as you plug it in, you press CarPlay, Apple CarPlay on your thing, and it comes up like a tablet. And then you've got Play Store, so you can download stuff. Or I've just put Prime on mine. You can download Prime. It comes with Netflix on it. It comes with YouTube on it and a few other things. They come pre-installed, and it's also I think a 10 gig stick, so you could put films on the stick and watch them off the stick or whatever. It turns it into like a tablet.
Oh, fancy!
And you can still run your car sat nav in the background and things like that. The only thing you can't run on it is your phone. You've got dial through that. But you can have your sat nav on, and your sat nav will still work underneath it if you like.
Well, it's got to be cheaper than buying those. Remember those video things they used to hang on the back of the seats for the kids?
Yeah, DVD players.
Yeah. Got to be cheaper than doing that, isn't it? Oh well.
And if you're pop, you had a twin screen one. You had one on each seat.
That's right. Yeah.
But I just thought it's. But Chris, but you know what? Because I haven't really drove. I've had lease cars for the last 4 years. I've just paid 28k and bought myself a new car.
Have you?
And Chris, do you know what? I've had to put a speed limiter on.
Have you? Why?
Yeah, because Chris, it's a 1 litre Ford Puma titanium.
Right.
I was just coming back from Nottingham, and I thought, I'm overtaking, and I'm staying behind people and stuff like that. I was doing 85.
Yeah, it's easily done. To be honest, I've driven fairly slowly now for a number of years. I've just changed my car. I've got a Honda now, Honda HR-V, and I was a little bit touchy about changing manufacturers, but I wasn't getting the deal that I wanted at Toyota. I wasn't getting, so I looked around and I thought, well, give Honda a go. And I've had that now about 2 months. I'm very happy with it. Very happy with it. Yeah.
I bought this. I paid 15 grand up front, and it's 28, so I'm paying the rest off. And after 3 years, I can either pay what's left over and keep the car, or I can have another car. But I paid this package that Ford are doing, so it covers my insurance, my MOT, my tax, and loads of bits and bobs. That is I pay extra on top of that, and it covers it all.
Yeah, that's fair enough, isn't it? I mean, mine included all the servicing. I don't have an extra. I don't have an extra service bill now, so I'm very happy with the Honda. And plus, the way that the car was sold to me, I didn't feel at any time pushed into it. You know, some of these. I hate salesmen. I bleeding hate them. I hate them, whether they're in a shop trying to sell me something or somewhere. No, go away. Can I help you? No, I'm all right.
I went to a Ford dealership, and this guy was. I said to him, "Look, I've got autism. I don't want loads of stress and loads of hassle. I don't want thing." He said, "Right." I said, "What car did you talk for?" He says, "These Ford Puma Titaniums are the new Fiestas, but they're bigger. And the new Fiestas, everybody's liking them. They're really good. So I recommend them. Blah blah blah." He showed it me. I said, "Mate, that'll do. If you want to look at another one?" I said, "Mate, that'll do. It seems to do everything I want to do. That'll do. There's no pressure." I said, "I'll take. It's what colour you want? Red, green, red, grey, or blue?" I said, "I'll red." He said, "Right, I'll have to order it for you." I said, "I'll take that grey one you got there." "Oh, I can't say that. That's a show one. We've got to get you one from the factory." So couldn't sell me the ones that they got. The brand new cars, they're only for show.
Oh, really? But usually you can get an ex-demonstrator. Well, I suppose they have to demonstrate it for a period of time.
I wanted a 25 plate, so it took 6 days. 6 days. Yeah. Around your car's here. Come and sign all your paperwork. Your car's here, and you can drive it away. And it came with about 3/4 tank of fuel as well.
Happy days. When I bought, when I was looking around the Honda, first of all, I always buy the most basic model. You know, if it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, with 5 being the best one, I'll buy number 1. I don't need all these extra bits on it. It's just crazy,
No.
crazy, really.
Matt,
And first of all, when I was there, they have like a new car sales and they have a second-hand car sales, and they're different. And the second-hand bloke was trying to sell me this car, but then, and I was kind of, yeah, this ain't bad. This ain't bad price. But the APR for the second-hand car was like almost 10%. And for the new car, it was like 3.9. So when you looked at that, the price was similar to a brand new one rather than a second-hand one, which, to be fair, only had a few thousand miles on there, like 3,000 or 4,000 miles on there. And I thought, no, I object to paying so much interest. See? I object. Because, of course, some years ago, a lot of the cars were on 0% because there wasn't many people buying them. But now they've jacked that up quite a lot.
There's a big thing at the moment, isn't it? I've seen on the internet, you can claim if you were charged too much interest in the past on your car finances and that.
That's right.
I've never had car finance, so I never waited, but I've seen them advertising, we will fight your case, blah, blah, blah. They've been charging too much over the years or something. I don't really know what it's about. But...
No, what it was is that when people bought cars, the salesman got a kickback, got money for selling you that car, which kind of went on the loan. But you weren't told about that. So someone took them to court and that's all been agreed. So there's a lot of money waiting to be paid out. And you don't need to go through like a solicitor or someone. You can do it yourself and just apply to whoever the interest provider was.
It's a bit like the, what were they called? Them shops that you could go in and get furniture, tellies and everything.
Yeah.
And then pay, so I forget what they call it now. They were one load to me. They all got shut down, didn't they? Because they were like 1,000% or something interest on that.
Mine was Toyota Finance. There's a good chance people would have been financed by Close Brothers, CLOSE. Yeah. They do a lot of finance and people like that. So, you know, it's worth having a look at that.
No, right, okay, Chris, I'll let you get on with something.
Thanks for calling.
It's been nice chatting, Mel, mate. See you soon.
Look after yourself. Bye, Roy.
Bye.
Bye, Roy. Do you know, it must be years since I last spoke to him. I can't believe how time just goes so quickly, doesn't it? Let's just go back to some of your messages here. Patricia in Manchester's there. Good evening, Patricia. She watches our little music show every morning. Good morning, Patricia. Who says, good evening, Chris. Chilling for a while with you. It's been a very busy weekend and really old friend turned up and it was so lovely. Isn't it nice when you bump into someone after years and years and years? Don't you? I get that a lot with my job. Literally, people come into the pub. Hello, Chris, how are you? I haven't seen you for a... Sometimes you recognise them and sometimes you don't. Because obviously, you know, the job I do, you know, I've sort of come across thousands, tens of thousands of people in my time. You can't remember them all. Sometimes you remember. Plus, of course, as you get older, you change, don't you? Although people say to me, I haven't changed a lot. But your features, especially if, you know, some of these old bags have had their face done, haven't they? What do they look like? I saw something the other day, actually, Patricia, on Facebook, and it says, you know, in a few years' time. Well, I say that it's not going to be in a few years' time. They're walking around now, people's nans, you know, elderly people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who have got fake lips, fake tits, fake arse. You know, some of these people, presumably, some of these people are going to be cremated. Do they remove those things first? Or is it, you know how it is if you've accidentally ever, like, burnt some plastic and it's that thick black smoke? You know, is that what happens in the cremation places? They'd be blocking up all the bleeding chimneys. With plastic smoke going up the chimneys, wouldn't it, eh? Here we go. I thought so. Maureen says it was too hot for me at Central Station this weekend. No, I'm glad you didn't come, to be honest, Maureen. I mean, it was just so hot. You would have suffered. I suffered in there. Like I say, I mean, it was just so painfully hot. Anyway, it's gone for next weekend, isn't it? So you'll be all right then. She stayed in tonight as my night bus is on diversion, meaning I'd have to get a taxi home. And she says hello to Gary Ross tonight. So there we are. Thank you, Maureen. Gang, the chat box on here is very busy, as you can see. there's a good chance your messages will get missed, all right, because of that. So the best way to send a message into to the show is to use the text there, okay? 07451 287 337, because and the reason is you're just talking to me then. And so if I see a message there, it's for me rather than talking to each other. And it is quite difficult to go in the chat box and pull out just the messages for me while doing everything else that I have to do to bring this little program to you, my loves. All right there. Let's have a look. Joseph McDonald. Yes, Screw Fix and Tool Station. That's the ones, Roy and Joe. You're quite right. That's where I bought the fan from. Actually, I think it was probably from Tool Station that I bought that big fan from. Great big thing, and it sits on the floor. And it does make a difference. It does. But if you've got a small fan, I think Vera, from Vera's Choice in the Morning, she had one of those little portable fans with her on Friday night, which kind of did the job, I suppose. Evening to Diane P. Hello to Diane. Hello to you, my love. They are. She's the one up in Scotland when I had the storm last night, I think it was. Evening to Diane. She's lovely, she is. And Mr. Tech Sparky. Best air conditioning is Ice Air Conditioning Unit. 10 degrees in the bedroom. I don't know what that is. Is that the thing? And they're about 60 quid. You just put ice in the top, don't you? But then you have to surely you have to keep changing the bleeding ice. Oh, no, I can't be doing it. I just want to push a button and get cold air out. And it's better there. Thank you, Roy. Congratulations, incidentally, to our very own DJ Di from Reach on Air. She has now been on the station 5 years. And funnily enough, she sent me a message the other day. She said 5 years. That means I've also been listening to you for 5 years. No, I'm sure I haven't been on there 5 years. I think it's about 3.5. It's either 2.5 or 3.5. I'd have to. How would I look back on that? I don't know how. Yes, I can. I can because I can see when I started paying out for Reach on Air, because of course it is a tax deductible item. Yes, it is tax deductible item. Hang on a minute, and I'll have a look. So let's have a look. 2022 maybe. Let's see if I've got any Reach payments there. Oh yes, I have. 2023. I think it was around October 23. I started on there. There's one there. No, 2022. Okay. 2022 Reach on Air. Oh, okay. April 2022. Let's go back another year then. Hang on. Have to open a closed account now. Hang on. Spotify. Reach. January 2022. So it's 21. It's got to be 21 then. Hang on. I bet it's 21. Oh, April 2021. Oh, you've got to be joking. April 2021. I have to go back another year. Do you know, I think she's right. It can't be 5 years. Reach, come on, where are they? January 2021. Gosh. Oh, that looks like it was a... Oh, is that a payment there? Hang on. I'm looking for £4.95 payments, Di, as you know. Fiverr, Spotify, Ring. Toyota! Gemcar, Facebook. Oh, I did see it there. I think it was 2021 actually. I've lost it now. Hang on. Is there anything there? Reach? No. January. 12th of January 21. So it's the 12th, is it? The payment comes out. Hang on then. So 12 back. No, the first one I've got is January 2021, I think. Oh no, December 2020. December 2020. That looks like that was the first payment. 12, 12, 11, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. 12, blimey, 12, 12, 2020. So that's when I started on Reach on Air. December 2020. It would have actually been before that. But I didn't have a regular slot then, and I was just doing the free one, which you can't go on much. So we'll fancy that. So it's 5 years this year, in December. Pray the Lord that we get to that. Posh Twink Carl's there. Hello to you. Who says good afternoon, Posh Twink Carl, Queen of ABBA dancing and Dayglow makeup. Our very own fashion icon, Posh Twink Carl is there, who says afternoon was very hot on Friday and Saturday. Oh, Carl, you should have been in there last night. It was worse than Friday. It was so hot. Early morning, 3 a.m. he was on Primrose Hill. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Young gay walking around Primrose Hill at 3 in the morning. Early morning, 3 a.m. on Primrose Hill, we had people celebrating the summer solstice. Very packed with people early morning and sunset. A very beautiful day. Were you one of those people? Were you out there doing that? Was it like, don't they run naked round trees and things like that? What's all that about, eh? Did they run naked? The summer solstice. Has anyone ever been to Stonehenge, as a matter of fact? I'm sure we've been there when I was a kid. We might have just drove past it. I think Mark Bowles actually lives quite... Is it Somerset, Stonehenge? Isn't it? Is it Somerset? I think he must live quite close to that. I'll have to mention it to him, perhaps on the next summer solstice or the winter solstice. Do they do it on the winter solstice as well? Or a bit cold running naked around there then, wouldn't it? Maybe you'd like to come and do that with me. I don't know. Might be an idea. Thank you, Carl. Don't forget that text number, 07451287337. The phone number's open as well tonight if anyone wants to call in about anything, whatever. Okay, 020-8144-3477 is my number there. Glenda's there. She loves the shirt. Thank you very much, Glenda. Yes, when I was in Disney, a couple of weeks ago now, I did buy one shirt for myself. I bought a couple of things. This shirt, I'm going to stand up and come a little bit closer to the camera. There we go. And it's got loads of... we've got Pluto. That's my sister's favourite. We've got Goofy. We've got Mickey Mouse. We've got Minnie Mouse there. We've got Donald Duck. There's Donald Duck's there. Donald Duck. And we've got all the characters on there. So it's nice. And it's 65 quid, that was. I only bought myself a couple of things while I was there. There were 3 shirts altogether. The other 2 are Ralph Lauren shirts, which were half price, £65. They were, which is a fair price for a shirt. You know, I know some people they spend 100, but my mate would happily spend 150 quid on this shirt. Not for me, darling. Don't think so. And I also bought these 2 items behind me here. This is, oh, don't tell me, Roy, Mr. Cogsworth, the clock from Beauty and the Beast, and you can open this little tummy there. There's a pendulum that swings there. I've got to tell you, this is quite a heavy item. This is very, very heavy. It's made out of that, heavy plastic stuff. You know, it's really very decent made. In actual fact, you'll find all the official Disney stuff is extremely well made. So that's Mr. Cogsworth, and he just caught my eye when I was in the shop. And I also bought this Celebration Mickey Mouse, because they're where I was at Disneyland in California, they're celebrating their 70th birthday this year. And so I saw this and I thought, do you know what? I like that. You may remember I had another one in the corner there with a big hat on. That is the Phantasmic Disney. And my nephew, Jimmy, he saw it. And he said, where did you get that? I said, well, it was in Florida. He said, we looked everywhere for one of those. We couldn't find one everywhere. So I thought, you know what, I'll just give it to him. So I took it round there. But I love the coat. And like I say, all this Disney stuff is really well made. Now, when you go to Disney, certainly the one in Florida, if you're staying where most of the hotels are, International Driver, that's not Disney hotels, okay? They're the more budget ones, and there's some expensive ones along there. But they have all these gift shops, right? Now, if you look at the quality of some of the stuff in there, nah, it's just not the same. Of course, it is much, much cheaper, right? But the quality is not the quality of stuff that you get at Disney. Disney is expensive. Frankly, you know, I'm a person on my own, so that's all right. How families, you know, you've got a family like mum, dad and 2 children, and then that's 2 lots of stuff you have to, because you can never buy one item, can you? Not for that one. They both got to have something. And, you know, every time you go into a shop, you can say goodbye to 100, 150 quid easy. These lightsabers and things like that. But, yeah, that's what I bought there, and the shirt. I'm glad you like it, Glenda. She says, you were looking nice and tanned. Yeah, it was either that or liver failure. I'm not quite sure which. I've got this mark on me. Do you know, I don't know what that is. I've got a mark on my arm, look. I don't know if that's a bruise or what. When I push it, there's nothing happening. That's just popped up. I noticed that the other day. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I'll ask the doctor on Tuesday. Looking nice and tanned. We will be reaching 98 degrees tomorrow. That's in Fahrenheit. I know what 98 is. Some of the Gen Zs haven't got a clue. But Posh Twink Carl wouldn't have a clue what that is. 98 degrees. He doesn't understand that. He was looking rather flustered on Friday. Bit hot, weren't you? Like? It reminds me of that time, actually, Carl, that you'd been downstairs and you came up to see me afterwards, looking quite flustered. You looked a little bit like that Friday. I hope you don't mind me saying that, lovey. I did notice that. It's going to be 98 degrees tomorrow and Tuesday. Yeah, I've been watching the American weather. That you too are experiencing a heat wave, aren't you? Our spring has been very rainy and cool, so the heat wave is welcomed. Well, our spring, Glenda, has been okay, but very, very dry. We've had hardly any rain here. Hardly any rain whatsoever since January, I'd say. Don't know where all this rain's going. It's not coming here. There we are. Ah, the lovely Debs. Hi, Debs. Here, Kitty. Hello, Debs. She was in the choir with me this morning at 8:30. I was just on looking back at the cart back. What do you call it? The recording. The recording on the website, and I clearly hear you singing the Gloria. I tell you what, if you weren't there, and Sheila, if you weren't there doing that Gloria, I think we would have had to go back to the old one. Honestly, especially the Amen at the end. I was particularly impressed by your Amen today. In fact, let's look it up so that everyone else can hear it. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I'm going to have to wind forward a little bit on this. Hang on a minute, and I'll do a couple of the messages. Right, recordings. There we are, 8:30. Right, listen carefully, and we're going to be able to hear Deb's doing the. I've got to find the place first. Oh, why have I got that music playing? Oh, hang on, here we go.
Device before your heart, we'll say the collect of the Mass together for the Feast of Corpus Christi.
Where are we now? No, further back than that. Hang on a minute. Hang on, just a minute. Here, I'll find it. Hang on a minute, 1 minute. Listen to Debs. Can you hear that really loud voice there? That's Debs in the back. Oh, yeah, you were very good with that Amen this morning. See if I can find it again. Well done, Debs. Seriously, if you and Sheila weren't there, I don't think we would have had to go back to the old one, to be honest. Big G, should we have a poll on if young straight girls should be allowed in gay bars? I told them on Saturday. A group came in, 2 lovely lads. Really nice lads, right? and then 3 screaming straight girls. And I laid into them. I laid into them. I said, oh, that's all we need in a gay pub now. 3 screaming straight girls. They constantly scream. Doesn't matter what's happening, they have to scream. Oh, can I have a Coca-Cola, please? Yeah, they put it on. Ah! Or one of their friends walks in. Ah! What is the constant screaming, girls? That young girl's doing. But I told them. And 2 lads came up and sung a song. It's 2 lads. One came up, he took the mic and stood on it. I said, oh, you come and stand this side. You're better looking than him. I want a good looking one near me. Oh, dear. Hello to Matt Martins in Winnipeg, Canada. Hello to you. Welcome along. Hope your family's doing well there, Matt. Nice to see you turn up there. All right. Alumax. Well, that's a good name. Alumax, did you get jet lagged on the flight? Coming back, yes. Took me about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks to return to normal sleeping sort of mode, if you see what I mean. While on the way there, no problem. Funny, isn't it? It usually only affects me one way or the other. But yeah, it took me a while, and I was waking up at 4 in the morning. I tossing and turning in bleeding bed. I just get up and make a cup of tea in the end. Otherwise, it's painful, isn't it? You know what I mean? Okay, do use that text, okay, gang? 020 8144 3477. 020 8144 3477. I see a Lumax is mentioning I can't stand Danny Dyer. No, neither can I. I can't bear him. I cannot stand him. That fat thing running around on the stage doing quiz night. He does nothing for me at all, that Danny Dyer. I've got to be honest. I don't know how you got into that subject. Perhaps you're having a conversation about him or something there. Khalib's there. Good evening to Khalib. Welcome to the show there. Stu, when you was in America, did you finally try a Twinkie? No, I didn't. I forgot that. Oh, I forgot that. A Twinkie bar. It's like a little sweet type thing. No, I forgot. And I remember you telling me that now to try that. A Twinkie bar. I had we had a Target superstore right opposite the hotel I was staying in, and you know all the hotels have little shops, but they're expensive in a shop. You know, like, it's silly, like $5 for a small bottle of water. You go over Target and it's like $1.40 for a large bottle of water. So I bought, because you don't usually drink water out of taps in America. So I got that over there, and also I was very pleased to discover these soft cookies, similar things that I found in Walmart when I was in Florida, and they're like a biscuit, but they're soft. You know, they don't crunch. They're soft with icing on the top. Oh, my God, delicious. And, you know, on the last day when I was there, I was going to bring some back. They'd run out. That and barbecue Lay's crisps. Yes, please, mummy. I also bought back 6 tins of bush baked beans. They are the best. Better than Heinz. Bush baked beans are the best ones there ever. Evening to Ellen. On the subject of the fans there, turbo fans are great, but I've also got a cooling blanket to sleep with. I've never heard of such a thing. A cooling blanket. Oh, hang on. Cooling blanket. How does that work? What do you put water in it? Oh, look at that. Cooling blanket. I've never heard of such a thing. And do you put that under temperature controlled? Oh, Silent Night. There's one here. Tesco's do one. Ice cooling blanket. Hang on. Amazon, 20 quid. Let's have a look. For all season lightweight cooling blanket. Oh. Do you plug that in? Oh, it does different colours. I've never heard of such a thing. I've never heard of that, a cooling blanket. You learn a new thing every day. Thank you very much, Ellen. Alumax has a Dyson with a water tank underneath, which chills the water and blows cold air. And he gets on all right with that one there. Once again, gang, don't forget, 020-8144-3477 if you fancy calling in tonight. Or if you're sending a message to me and you're getting missed out on the chat box, text it in 07451 287 337 and it won't get missed there. All right. Big G says Danny Dyer's subject came up. Hang on. Because I was known as Daddy Dyer in King's Arms in Soho because of my great use of the English language. Your English is all right. Oh dear. Alumax, Fantasia, the best animated movie ever made. It was good, in it. But at Disney in Florida and California, they have a show called Fantasmic, which is just the best show ever. The Florida one has the edge over that because that's in like an open air theatre where you sit down and enjoy the show. In California, you have to stand around this water bit, which is not so good. Plus, people stand in front of you and all that. Unless, of course, you're like me and you get there early. That's the trouble with the Disney stuff. When they have a parade or something like that, you need to be there very early. Otherwise, you miss your space. We're talking an hour and a quarter, an hour and a half before the event. You mark your territory and you sit on the ground and you don't move from there. You know, make sure you have a wee first. Yes. Karen's there. Good evening, Karen. Missing you, Karen. Missing you, Karen. And hello, lovely Charlie Scott. Time for another visitor soon, Charlie, I think, to the karaoke, my love. He's a nice lad. He don't stay till the end because I think he has to get a train home. But good evening to Charlie. Evening to George Bond. Evening to DJ George as well. Oh, my God, we're at the end of the messages. Look at that. Charlie's hopefully coming along to the karaoke again soon. I should look forward to your singing talents, my love. I should look forward to your singing talents. And Maureen should be back at the weekend. It was too hot for her. Honestly, I don't like to go on about it, but it was blooming hot in there at the weekend. So while I was in California, I had a lovely time. The flight there was great. And the good thing is, on the way there, right, I got on the plane. We have something in the lounge to eat. A nice little, what did I have? A breakfast, beans and toast and eggs and things like that. So I had that, and we got on the plane. I think I was a 2:30 flight, something like that in the afternoon. I think it was a nice timed flight. It was. Got on the plane. I had some. You can have a glass of champagne or orange juice. This is the posh seats, right? So I had a glass of orange juice because I don't drink at all anymore. I've got 2 really expensive bottles of champagne in the fridge. One for my 60th birthday. Well, that was 2 years ago. I'm going to have to give it away because it's pointless having the blooming scene sat in there. Kind of waiting for one of the kids to have a bit of a celebration. Actually, Jimmy and his missus are having another baby. I might give it to them, actually. I might give them, to celebrate the birth of the new child. I don't know if that's going to be a girl or a boy. More expensive at Christmas. God dear me. So I've got those in the fridge. I'll give them away. And so I had a little, and then a meal comes round. You have a little meal. I've got a pre-ordered meal, like ticked vegetarian, on the British Airways thing. But I'll be honest with you, sometimes I don't do myself any favours on that because often this vegetarian thing comes round and I don't fancy that at all. And so don't get me wrong, sometimes it's really nice. Like, for example, I had this vegetarian curry on the way back. Oh, my God, it was delicious. Absolutely delicious. But sometimes you get this cold stuff and, and then you realise on the normal menu is like a nice tomato pasta, which I would rather have had. You'd think they'd give you that, wouldn't you? Instead of preparing your own vegetarian meal, why not? Oh, I suppose pasta, that could be... No, that's vegetarian. Tomato pasta's vegetarian, isn't it? It's not vegan necessarily because of eggs. But I'm not vegan, I'm vegetarian. And that was actually the case on the way going to California. And he said, do you not want that? I said, no. I said, not really. He said, shall I see if I've got something else? I said, come back. He said, I've got a nice pasta. I said, oh, can I have one of those, please? So he bought that out and I had that. That was all right. Then I watched a film and a half. And then you look at the clock and like 2.5 hours has passed for a 10-hour flight. And I thought, well, I'll try and go to sleep for a while. So I closed my eyes. And you wake up but you still got your eyes closed. And when I'm on a plane, I do keep waking up and I don't open my eyes. I keep your eyes closed, you'll go back off again. And you do. You go back off, then you wake up again. You wake up. I just open my eyes to see how much longer I've got on the plane. And I open my eyes, 2.5 hours to go. Happy days. Happy days. 2.5 hours to go. And of course, at about 2 hours, they bring round another meal. So then you have, I can't remember what it was now. Can't remember. But I had another meal. Then I put some more telly on, a couple of episodes of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is coming back on the telly soon. And before you know where you are, 20 minutes to landing. You know, I drink copious amounts of tea on the plane. Sometimes it's better than others. You know, if that bleeding pot's been sitting out there a while, it might be a bit warm instead of hot. But that's okay, you know, that's okay. And the plane lands, and coming through LAX airport, what was that like? Oh, yeah, chaos. Absolute chaos. What an awful airport, LAX. I mean, it's enormous, this place. So I'm coming through and people are going through, and I got there. Hello, sir. Opens the passport. How are you? Yeah, not bad. It was a lady, actually. She said, how long are you here for? I said, oh, just a week. She said, oh, that's not a normal time. Now, when they're having a conversation with you, I am fully aware it's not a conversation. You are being interrogated. There's a great word. Interrogated. Interrogated, right? So you're being interrogated. And she's saying, how long are you here for? Oh, it's not long. I said, yeah. I go on 2-week holidays, and quite honestly, I find them too long. Okay, what are you going to do while you're here? I said, well, I've come to visit a little church. Oh, have you really? What denomination? Catholic. Okay, what's it called? St. Monica's. Oh, okay. And where is that then? Santa Monica. Oh, okay. She says, I said, I'm going to visit Disney as well. She said, oh, I didn't know there was a church in Disney. I said, no, there isn't. I'm going to visit a church in Santa Monica and also Disney. Oh, right, okay. So she's looking at the passport, looking at me. She said, have you bought your tickets yet for Disney? I said, yeah. She said, do you mind if I see them? Yeah, no problem at all. So, and you have all this on your phone. So I just brought up my phone, showed it. Oh, okay, sir, thanks very much. You have a lovely time while you're in the States. And in I went, you know. So I was being interrogated, but that's okay. I understand that. There's a lot of dodgy people going around in different countries, you know, upsetting people. We have enough of them coming over here, don't we, on the boats? Oh, my God, blimey. And they're all blokes, aren't they? Have you noticed that? All blokes. So in I went, and then you get out of LAX airport, and I travel everywhere by Uber now when I'm on holiday. I do not hire a car. I've never liked hiring cars abroad. It bothers me. Yeah. Oh, it's got a little scratch on it. Oh, it's $1,000, please. No, not for me, mate. So I get Ubers now everywhere. I was introduced to Uber by my friend Paul, who's one of Vera's friends. She's not here today, is she? Vera's friend, and we did it for the first time in Florida when I was with my mate. This time I was on my own, but that's okay. So I've come out. Where's the Uber, please? Uber, and it says, you know, car sharing sign. So you just follow this sign outside. I said, well, where'd you get the Ubers from? Oh, you have to wait for a bus over there, and it takes you to the Uber place. Okay, so I'm looking, and there's no one there. No one there. I thought, oh. So, of course, now you're wondering, are you standing in the right place? Anyway, I stood there. And as time went on, I must have been there 10 minutes, 15 minutes. More people are joining. And then more and more people. And this amount of people is getting bigger and bigger. And then a bus company says, Uber. And everyone surged forward. And this bus went straight past us all. Oh, right. Well, that one's not stopping. And then the next one come along, well, it was like a bloody free-for-all, dear. Oh, my God, blimey, and everyone's trying to get on this bus. Anyway, I carefully positioned my case so that no one could get past me. I got on the bus, and it takes you to another part of the airport. To be honest, I think this is being done up, and that's why it's like that. So you go to another part of the airport, which is like a big car park. And once you get off the bus there, I've got to be honest, I did say LAX is really chaotic. I mean, it's enormous, this place, right? But when I got to the Uber place, it was really well set out. Like a big car park with numbers, A1, A2, B1, B2. And you order your Uber car, right, on the mobile phone. And it tells you, okay, meet us at B1. So what is oh, there it is over there. There's a sign over there. You walk over to B1. There might be one or two people there because it's spread everyone out. There's someone over at A1. There's someone at C3. What a great way of doing it. Because often, certainly at Disney, what happens at Disney in Florida was that you had one big car park with all these cars coming round. There might be like 20, 30, 40, 50 cars coming through. You've got to look at them all to find your car, along with everyone else who are walking up and down. And that's just chaos. So I've got to be honest, the way they do the Uber at LAX airport is really, really good. Really good. So I had a Tesla. I had a Tesla car. So, hello, mate. Is it Chris? Yeah, hello, Chris. And you've got his name. And you've got a little picture of him as well on the app. And you've got his number plate. And you do not get in another car that turns up, oh, I'm Uber. No. Is that the number plate? No. Then he's a dodgy driver. You don't do that. It tells you on... I'm going to show you now. It's a really good way of getting about... I know black taxis don't like them, and I understand that. I mean, they've taken an awful lot of work from them. So here's the app. This is the Uber app, right? And it opens up, and there you go. And you type. See, it says where to, right? You just type in where you want to go. Let's do one now. Let's type in Frimley Park Hospital. Frimley Park Hospital, right? So there you go. And then you get this list up in front of you with the recommended one is at the top there. And it says there, Uber, and it'll be about 6 minutes and it's going to cost you £24.97. And then you would click that there. And then it does its stuff and tells you that a car is on its way. And it will come up with the number plate and a picture of the person driving it and their name. And they also know who you are. Okay? And we had this in Florida where a bloke pulled up in a nice car. He didn't look dodgy at all. But then again, what does a murderer look like? Come to the karaoke. You can see a lot of people murdering those songs, dears. Eh? And so you in Florida, hello, I'm an Uber, mate. I said, oh, we're waiting for Uber. Yeah, that's me. Do you want to jump in? No, thank you. Different number plate. You're not what we ordered. You only get in what it says on there. And then you're sort of reasonably safe, I suppose, because they do all checks and that. Anyway, so there's a little bloke from Vietnam, he was, because I like to talk to people in the cars. And he's driving his Tesla. I said, well, it's the first time I've been in one of these. I said, how long you had it? He said, 2 years. He said, I absolutely love it. He said, I charge it at home. He said, I plug it in when I finish my day's shift. I said, do you do this as a side hustle? No, this is my main job. He said, I've actually retired. You do find in America, I don't know if it's the same here, a lot of retired people who are piss-ass bored with their lives, and they go and start driving Ubers. Now, I don't know if it's the same there as it is here. Here, you've got to do all sorts of, learn maps and stuff like that. And plus, you've got to pay a lot of insurance. I don't know if it's the same there. But the first time we did this in Florida, I got to say, I was tempted. I was tempted because I quite like the idea of driving people around and talking to them. Just imagine the material I'd have for these shows with people's little stories and things like that. I like that. I like that. What I wouldn't want to do is the pissheads from pubs late at night. I couldn't be doing that. Oh, no, couldn't be doing that. Anyway, so I said, does it do any of it self-driving on its own? He said, oh, yeah. He said, in fact, I'll be doing that when we get on the freeway. Oh, right, okay then. So we got on this freeway and he pushed a button. And he took his hands off the steering wheel and he took his hands off the feet off the pedals. And I kid you not, he's sitting there like this, right? And this bloody car is driving itself. I couldn't believe it. but it's not driving itself at 30 mile an hour. It's driving itself at 65, 70 mile an hour. And I didn't think it was very, very far away from the car in front. And on this big screen, right, in the middle of the car, you can see what the car's doing. And all these other little cars around it, some are passing, some are behind us, some are in front, and you can see them all on this screen. It's fantastic. And I said, have you ever had any problems with it? He said, never. In 2 years, he said, the only problems we have is other people almost bumping into you. You know, not that car. He said, the only thing is sometimes at a junction, like on the freeway, where... So, for example, it'd be like on a motorway, you know, where sometimes it's coming off there or going forward. It can get a bit confused and might start going the wrong way, in which case you correct it. This car is driving itself. Anyway, after a wonderful conversation with him, he dropped us at the hotel. I was staying at the Doubletree Hilton in Buena Park. And it was a nice hotel, much better than the one in Florida, where there was no cockroaches for a start. It was very clean, very clean. So I pulled up there and very nice staff. I do recommend this hotel, the Doubletree Hilton, Buena Park. And yeah, lovely. Went up to my room, lovely. It was a bit of a problem with the air conditioning, which I picked up at that night. So I reported that in the morning. And then I went to Disney the next morning. And then as soon as I come back, it had all been fixed. It was lovely cold air being pumped out in there. And they give you a nice warm cookie when you get there as well to enjoy with your tea upstairs. Of course, in America, there's no kettles, okay? You must take your own kettle. In fact, this time I bought my own kettle. I actually bought my own kettle. Another kettle, so to speak. I actually bought another kettle this time because my travel kettle it's very, very slow in the UK. Really slow. I don't know why, but it takes 20 minutes to boil water. So while I was over there, I bought an American kettle, which is because it's half the voltage, you see. Aluma, read your message on your mobile. What message? Who's Aluma? There is no message. Are you talking about the text number? Nothing from you here. Nothing from you here. So, that. Oh, hang on. No, something's popped in there. There it is. What is it? Patricia in Manchester. She had a glass of champagne with my friend yesterday. Oh, look at that. I too woke up at 4 a.m. I could have sworn I heard a dining room chair scraping across my kitchen floor downstairs. Ooh. Ooh, she's got ghosts in the house. She said it was so strange. I don't think I will bother shipping champagne tonight. No, I wouldn't bother, Patricia. Don't bother, love. Where was I now? Yeah, so I had a nice sleep. I slept all the way through. The room was big, you know, American hotels, all those rooms are big. And a lovely shower, perfect shower, nice telly on there, and very comfortable bed actually. And it was clean every day. Someone came in and, you know, pulled the sheets over and did it much better than they did in Florida, I've got to tell you. It wasn't good in that hotel. What was it? The Ramada? Was it the Ramada? I can't remember the name. I wouldn't recommend that one though. Dirty, filthy place. I had to go under the bed because we thought we saw a cockroach. Well, we did see a cockroach go under the bed in Florida. I went under the bed. Well, it had never ever been cleaned under that bed. Dirty, cobwebs, sweet wrappers, disgusting, really disappointing. But the Hilton, Doubletree Hilton, lovely. You get, you know, you get exactly what you like a travel lodge here. All travel lodges, fantastic. They're all exactly the same. Everything's in the same place. Nice shower, telly on the wall, and all that business. You know, so happy with the hotel. And on the first day, I went to Disney. Got an Uber to Disney, and yeah, at the first day there, lovely. Second day, I went shopping. The only thing is, I went to the wrong shops. It wasn't particularly good shopping centre at all, and I discovered I went to the wrong shops because on the day I had a little trip to Hollywood, And we're going past. I said, "Oh, I went to those shops." He said, "Oh, you went to the wrong ones." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Just down here, Citadel, I think it was called Citadel or something like that." Citadel Shopping Centre. He said, "That's where you should have been." He said, "Have you still got time? Go there." I said, "Well, to be honest, I've done my shopping now. There was nothing I really wanted, only presents for other people, you know." And so I went to this shops on Tuesday and did my thing. Went back to Disney on Wednesday. There are only 2 Disney theme parks. There's Disneyland and there's California Adventure Park. And they're both Disney, and you go through one entrance and then you go that way or that way. And the security looks in your bags and all that. And very busy though, very busy. The weather was all right. It wasn't over hot. Certainly wasn't cold. The weather was just right. And I quite like to walk around, and I don't do roller coasters at all. I mean, it's all very sad. 3 times I went on It's a Small World, you know. La, 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 la. 3 times I went on that. How sad is that? The only thing is that the California one, they don't have a Carousel of Progress, which is one of my... sorry, the sun's coming right in. That's lovely, that sun. They don't have the ride called California... Carousel of Progress, which they have in Florida. It used to be there, but they picked it up and took it to Florida. So, but it's one of those things. And it was nice. I was in and out of the shops quite a lot looking at stuff because I do like all the mementos and things like that you can buy. I don't usually buy much stuff. Because what happens in shops, of course, is that you say, "Oh, that's really nice. I'd love one of those." And then you get it back and you put it on the shelf and you forget about it. So really, it was a bit of a waste of money. Thank you, Stuart. The Rosen Inn, that was it. Don't stay there. What a dump. I'm sorry. Dirty place. The Rosen Inn International Drive. So I can't recommend that one at all there. You know, do use that text message, gang. 07451 287 337. I'm just going to close the phone line now. I know we had one call, but we'll close that now as well. Okay, because time is ticking away, isn't it? There you go. Oh, look at that! It moves. My text number moves from up there to down there. Look at that. Oh, I didn't know it did that. Oh, no, it doesn't now. Look. Oh, that's funny, isn't it? Didn't I see a big text at the bottom there? Oh, I see. It's on the Reach thing. On the Reach camera there, yeah. So that was the shops. Wednesday I went back to Disney, and that's when I bumped into the evil queen from Snow White. Oh, that was wonderful. That was wonderful. She walks around the park just insulting people. And she's really good at it. And I think she's English, actually. I'm pretty sure she's English. I didn't detect an American accent, really. And the makeup, the outfit, wow. And I said, "Excuse me, Your Majesty," as she was walking off. And she told me, "You are excused." What do we have here? A man wearing a tablecloth as a shirt? And where is all your hair? She goes. And I said, "Oh, my mate would really love a message from you." Because we'd seen this lady on TikTok. Very hard to come across her. It really is. One of my other mates went there 3 times. He's been to Disney looking out for her, and he's never bumped into her. Right place at the right time. That's what it is. And I said, "My mate would love a message. My friend would love a message from you. I very much find it hard to believe that you have any friends." What's his name? Ronald. Ronald, you need to find new friends. And she just went. Oh, that was quite a highlight, actually, bumping into her. And then what did I do on a Thursday? I can't remember what I did on Thursday. Thursday I went to Hollywood. Wow. That is something else. It's not what you think. Hollywood Boulevard, which is where all the... What's that noise? I keep hearing funny noises. Keep hearing bleeps. Where the Hollywood Boulevard is, they have the pink stars in the street. A lot of homeless people there, and drug addicts and things like that. I'll be honest, when I got out the Uber, who dropped me almost right outside the place where the little trip was going to be, I thought, "Oh, I don't know if I want to be here." No, it was a bit like that. Seriously, I was shocked. Hollywood Boulevard. didn't expect that at all. Anyway, little bus came, and you go on this bus, and it's advertised to see stars' houses in Beverly Hills. Well, actually, what you get is a nice drive and the pictures of a few gates and great big wooden things what they've put up so you can't see their house. I mean, you can understand it. I mean, I don't know if I'd want someone peering in my bleeding window while I'm sitting there watching the telly or something like that, you know? So I kind of get that. But the difference in Hollywood Boulevard and Beverly Hills was something else. I mean, it really was. And we got out at Beverly Hills somewhere, you know, for a little walk around in a park. I saw the front gate of Rihanna. Rihanna's house is there. And outside, there's this great big black car with a bloke standing next to it. And apparently, this car is there 24 hours a day just in case Rihanna wants to go out somewhere. She don't call an Uber. She said this bloke is just employed to sit outside her house. So at any point she wants to go somewhere. Well, why can't she drive herself, bleeding lazy cow, honestly? Ellen, the only evil queen I like is Once Upon a Time. Oh, Ellen, you should see this evil queen in Disneyland. She's fantastic. My mate was so jealous I came across her. But I managed to get a little message for him, so he was very pleased with that. Yeah, so as I say, Hollywood, I saw Rihanna's house. Paul McCartney, that was the nicest gate that we saw. Unfortunately, the coach is not allowed to stop anywhere. Otherwise, they get a $300 fine. Yeah, apparently there was a lot of problems with these little tour buses that kept stopping and holding up all the traffic behind them through this beautiful Beverly Hills. It's beautiful up there, so clean and lovely houses. So Rihanna, Paul McCartney, Piers Morgan. We saw Michael Jackson's house. Can't think of others. There were others, of course. Can't think of the others. But these houses, wow. I don't think there was anything cheaper there than 25 million. And then back to Hollywood, Hollywood Boulevard, and I did cross over the road. There was a Subway there. I was a bit peckish, so I crossed over this road and went into Subway, ordered something in there, and I sat down. As I sat down, I heard two English accents. I said, "Oh," I said, "well, you're the only English people I've come across so far, and I've been here 5 days." Young couple they were, girl and boy. So I had a little bit of a conversation with them. He said, "What do you reckon on Hollywood?" He said. I said, "Are you staying here in Hollywood?" And they said, "Yeah." I said, "Well," I lowered my voice because, of course, there's all these Americans in there, and you don't want to offend them. I said, "I'm shocked at how bad it is here." He said, "Yeah, we thought the same. You know, with the homeless thing in America, I believe is probably worse than it is here. When you see all these people just literally sleeping on the streets, is that the American dream? Terrible. But it might well be the case because we have homeless in London and people prefer to be homeless than have somewhere to go. It is a choice for some people. I don't know why. I can't imagine what it must be like to sleep on the streets. Terrible. Terrible. Anyway, so I had a conversation with them, and then I crossed back over the road and I ordered another Uber to get back. So, you know, I'm funny with coaches now, especially if you're on a coach like 2 or 3 hours and there's no toilet. And it just worries the life out of me. Anyway, I do have a tummy problem at the moment. The antibiotics and Omniprozole, I think it's called. I'm on that at the moment because what's coming out the other end is a bit scary. It's a little black. Anyway, they haven't found anything yet. I've got this bug. Apparently, it's got this bug which causes ulcers. So I think that's what they think is happening. Anyway, so I'm in this car and it was $110. I thought, blimey, why is that so dear? Because it was only like, I think it was about 70 going. Anyway, I soon realised why, because we're driving along and then we turned onto the freeway and all I heard was, "Oh no." And there were 5 lanes of cars moving very slowly. And of course, straight away in my head, I think, "Oh my God, what if I need the toilet?" at which point you start wanting to go. And I'm looking around, is there anywhere he can pull off here? No. It's concrete either side. Oh my God, I thought. And I went into, I'm trying to, calm. And I thought, I'll close my eyes. And I closed my eyes. And it was, I think I slept. I think I fell asleep, actually, in the back of the car. And then when we got there, it was about another half hour still to go, it said on the sat-nav. But it was okay. It wasn't too bad. I think a lot of it's in my mind sometimes, something like that. And then I realised that's why it was $110, because of the bleeding traffic that wasn't moving anywhere. 5 lanes of cars. It was just like you see on the telly. When you see on these American movies and there's all these cars in it. Just like that it was. Just exactly like that. Got back to the hotel on the Thursday and had a sleep. Friday I went back to Disney again. So 3 times I went to Disney. Had a nice time on Friday, walking around. That's when I bought a few little gifts and things. I found a lovely thing for my mate, actually. He's a big fan of the Evil Queen, and I found a model in this shop. A model of the Evil Queen. Limited edition. Well, I only found it was a limited edition because he told me yesterday, because I gave it to him a few days ago. And I found that in there. But I was a bit concerned it was going to get crushed, so I had it shipped. And the shipping was $50, which I thought for a large item was very reasonable. And Disney are very, very good about wrapping stuff up and all that, When you go in these shops, you're not rushed at all. You're looked after. You feel like a valued customer. But then when you're in America, you feel like that everywhere. Whatever shop you go in, they know how to treat customers, which I'm afraid they don't here unless you're in like a 5-star hotel, somewhere like Claridge's or the Mandarin Oriental. You are treated properly there as a person. How many times have you gone in a restaurant? We would be waiting 20 minutes now. Short-staffed. Short-staffed. That's all they say, innit? Rude. And they want a bloody tip. Don't think so, mate. Talking to tips, I always tip well when I'm in America. That is their culture. If you go to America, do not tip, because it's rude. It'd be same as me telling you to piss off. Okay? Don't do it. You must tip when you're in America. That is their culture, right? Respect it. Respect it. Just going back a little bit here, I was very, very happy to note that there was a Denny's right opposite the hotel. My favourite place to eat in America is Denny's. I love it. The vegetarian omelette and the French toast is to die for. So I went over there 3 times, I think, in the week that I was there, which was nice. And again, they say, "Hi, sir, what can I get you, please?" And they're all very happy, smiley, and they get a tip from me. Absolutely, do they get a tip from me? Yeah, always. So that was Friday. Saturday, I don't think I did much on the Saturday, if I remember rightly. I think I had a little bit of a walk around the area in which I was in. And then Sunday was the highlight of my whole holiday. And I went to a little church called Santa Monica. It's not little. It's not little. I went to a church called St. Monica's in Santa Monica. And the whole idea of me going to California was to visit that church. And I'd been on their Facebook group and put a note, "Oh, I'm coming over," and someone picked me up. Not picked me up. Picked me up off the Facebook post that I did, and started talking to me and connected me with a bloke called Merrick. Not a great name, Merrick. And she said, "Hook up with him. He'll be in the church. He usually hangs around with the choir." Okay. So I turned up there and I walked into this church. I cannot tell you the joy that was within myself being at that particular place. Now, okay, you've probably done the same thing, not necessarily in a church. You've been somewhere that you've wanted to go to for a long time and suddenly you are there. How does that feel? I'm sure you've probably done it at some point. And I cannot tell you the joy I felt as I walked through those doors. And I walked up and it was empty. The service was at 9:30. I got there about 10 to 9. Okay. I was determined not to be late, and I wanted to sit near the front. Well, I sat at the front. And as I approached, there's a bloke standing there, looking down. And I said, "Are you Merrick?" He said, "Yeah, that's right. You must be Chris." I said, "Oh, I'm so pleased to meet you." And he shook my hand. And he said, "This is," and he showed us. I said, "Where can I sit?" He said, "You sit wherever you want." I said, "Can I sit there at the front?" He said, "Yeah, there's no one there yet." He said, "Put your bag down quick before someone else grabs it." Okay, so I put my bag down. And it was just wonderful. And the bands were rehearsing. They don't have an organ. They have a band. There's a piano bloke. There's a guitarist. There's a saxophonist. There's a drummer. I think there might be another guitarist there. And the bloke playing the piano is a singer. And the choir sit behind the priest on the altar. Or stand and sit behind the priest on the altar. And then it turns out that Merrick appears to be in charge of the choir. Because when it came to the mass starting, he stood up there and he's like, was the cantor. Now, the cantor is someone, we don't really have them in this country, but they have it a lot in America, where a singer is on one side of the altar. If you don't know what an altar is, imagine a stage, okay? So they sit on the side of the stage, or stand on the sides of the, and they come on and they sing and they try and help people along with the singing, you know? And he did that, so he was more important than I thought he was. Merrick, his name is. I meant to send him a text, actually, thanking him for introducing me. And I said, "Is there any chance I can meet the Monsignor?" That's like the priest, okay? Higher up than the priest. He said, "Yeah, no problem at all." He said, "I'll get him to come down to you." And then he walked in, and there he was. There he was. The Monsignor, little old man he is, like bent over a little bit. And he came down, he said, "Hello." He said, "You must be Chris." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Pleased to meet you." So I had a selfie done with him. I've got it here, actually. Let me show it to you. Oh, hang on, my mate's just texted me. Oh, he's not well. Okay. We're all bleeding ill, you know. Let me see where the picture is. There we go. There's a picture of me and the Monsignor there in the church. And it's now I was going to go to two masses there, 9:30 a.m. and 5:30, and I thought I'd walk into Santa Monica afterwards. So after mass, they had tea and donuts, so I went in there. And there was a little bit of a do going on because someone was leaving. So I managed to sit myself at a table and people just talk to you, you know, just talk to you about whatever. So that was quite nice. And after that, I walked into Santa Monica. Again, a lot of homeless people there sleeping on the pavement, on the sidewalk. You know, there was one old bloke. He was sitting on a park bench. He had really old clothes on. And he had this pair of grey tracksuit bottoms on and a massive big stain around where his bits and pieces are. He'd obviously weed himself, bless him. Really sad. Really sad how that goes on. Carried on walking and I came across an English pub and it was about lunchtime, so I had some lunch in there. And I'm sitting there looking at the menu. "Hello, love, what can I get you?" I said, "Oh, another English one." I said, "Do you know what? You're the only third English person I've discovered since I've been here." And then across from them was two older people, probably slightly older than me. They were sitting... Hang on a minute. Alexa, turn off studio air.
Okay.
And they were getting a bit cold in here, to be honest. And they were sitting there, so I had a conversation with them. But in all that week, I came across 5 English people. Can you believe that? 5. 5 English people. That's all I saw. Funny, innit? I had a chat with them. And while I'm sitting there, this car comes past me. And I'm looking. It's got this spinning thing on the roof. Right? There's no one in it. No one. And I said, what's that? He said, oh, that's the self-driving cabs. I said, do they not have at least a driver? No, they're self-driving. There is no one driving this car. It's got a spinning... and they're all nice cars. Jags. They're Jags. There's a spinning thing that goes ever so fast on the top. Various cameras or some sort of sensors on the side. On the side, right? Bizarre. And then another one went past, and there's a woman sitting in the front, young girl sitting in the front, and she's on her mobile phone. There's no one in the car. It's just driving. Waymo, they're called, and they have an app, Waymo. And I thought, I wonder if I can get one of those back. So I downloaded the app. I thought, oh, I've got to give this a go. And unfortunately, where my hotel is, it's out of the area that they cover. So I couldn't get a cab back. How crazy is that? Waymo. No one in there. Santa Monica. But they do cover a certain area. I wasn't in it, but they were. You know, and I had my dinner and a little bit more of a walk around there. And then I got a cab back. Now, I didn't stay for the 5:30 Mass because I discovered then that there was a cathedral that I'd seen on YouTube, Christ Cathedral, also known as the Crystal Cathedral, that was 10 minutes from the hotel. I thought, well, actually, it's a Sunday. I wonder if they've got a Mass on at 5:30 Mass. It was about 1 o'clock now. So I got the cab back. And journey wasn't too bad. It was a long journey, but not traffic. Do you know what I mean? So about 45 minutes in the cab going back, and a little bit of sleep at the hotel, and I got up again, and I thought I'll go to Christ Cathedral. Now I'm going to show you a little picture of this. I'm sorry, I should have prepared some pictures to put on here for you. I know some of you have already seen this stuff on my YouTubes, but this cathedral is something else. I mean, when the Uber pulls round the corner and you're standing in front of that, I mean, look at that. It's unbelievable. This thing is enormous, and it's all glass. All glass. Inside, they have these little white things on the inside. Now, this cathedral wasn't Catholic. It was built by one of those American evangelicists. For I don't know why, but the Catholics bought the cathedral off him for some reason, and then shed loads of money doing it all up to make it a bit more as they wanted it, much more than they spent on the hotel. And it actually, as well as a cathedral, as a memorial garden, various halls with activities happening in there, and of course the church itself. And I was just gobsmacked standing in front of this cathedral. Absolutely gobsmacked. Never seen anything like it. It's on the same sort of level as going to the Vatican in Italy, but obviously much more modern, you know. So that was the Sunday, and I got back. I think I went to the cinema. Oh, that was it. Saturday night I went to the cinema. I had a walk to the cinema, so that was quite nice. Good 35 minute walk to the cinema, which was close by, and I went to see a film, something about an exorcism. So The Ritual, that was it, called The Ritual. Good film, actually, The Ritual. So I went to see that on the Saturday, and Sunday I went to church, hoping not to be attacked by a devil somewhere. And then Monday it was home time. So Monday I managed to get myself a late checkout, and I don't usually go very far on checkout day. We got a text the night before because there was trouble in LA, which you probably saw on the telly. Now, listen, the whole of LA did not erupt in violence. It was a couple of streets. That was it. But I was getting texts of people, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? We've seen there's lots of trouble in LA at the moment. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. It's just a couple of streets. But we did get a message from the British Airways saying it was taking some people 3 hours to get to the airport due to the problems. So I thought, well, I better leave it a long time. The journey is usually 40 minutes, so about 2.5 hours I added onto my time. Got the cab, and how long did it take? 40 minutes. So I was at the airport far too early, but it's okay. The security, oh my God, the security coming through LA airport. there's this great long line, and there's no fast track or anything like that. You know, so you just got to stand in a line. I must have taken an hour trying to get through there. Terrible. Got into the lounge, and I've got to say, the LAX lounge, it's like the business lounge, yeah? You pay a lot more money for that, but, you know, it is what it is fantastic. It's very big. It's busy, but because it's so big, there's plenty of room. And you have a little meal. I can't remember what I had now, some sort of spicy rice thing or something like that. And they had seats with footstools. So I literally sat in this seat and I kind of closed my eyes. And before I knew where it was flight time 2 hours later. I had a shower before I got on the plane in the lounge. And that was nice. Back on the plane again. Same as last time. I think I watched a film, had a meal. This time I closed my eyes. And when I opened them again, or maybe 2 or 3 hours to go, 1 hour and 10 minutes left, happy days. So I slept all the time on that plane, which was just blooming great. Really great. Got off the plane and my mate and his other half met me. Oh, my God. For the first time ever, actually, I went through the green, nothing to declare, because I don't smoke, I don't drink, I haven't got anything dodgy in there. For the first time ever, as I went through, every single table had the security bloke there. What are they called? You know, customs. And they were pulling over people left, right and centre on these tables. And as I went through, there's a lady standing there, like in a uniform. She was talking to someone. So I thought it was a queue. So I stopped and put my bag down. It's okay, sir. Just go straight through the exit over there. Oh, right. Okay. So I just went straight out the exit. But they were pulling people over left, right and centre in there. I mean, there must have been 10 tables, and they had someone on every table opening people's cases. God knows what they were looking for, because you would have thought, coming from America, the security is so good that end that they wouldn't bother. I mean, you can understand certain dodgy countries, can't you? Funny, isn't it? So it is. So as I say, my mate and that was standing there, and through I went. Happy days. And I did say to you, I was going to tell you how much I spent on Uber. Quite a lot, actually. £503 on Uber cars. £503. But to hire a car for a week isn't far off that, right? And I've got no worry about damaging the car or anything like that. So I'm happy to spend that. £503. You'll hire a car for not less than that, probably, I would imagine. That was my holiday. All right. Oh, my God, it's 8 minutes to 8. Look at the time. We've got any more text coming now? Hang on a minute. Let me have a little look. And I'll have a quick look in the chat box before we go. No more text there. Roy. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Alumax, how many shirts did you buy? 3, just 3. This one and 2 others from the Ralph Lauren. Right? Alumax, I've got to tell you, it looks like you know me, but I don't know who you are. So could you tell me who you are, please? Thank you very much. Gary likes the shirt as well. Thank you, Gary. Big G, sad to say, London is not too different. Tottenham Court Road is full of tents of homeless people. Oh, I saw this last night. Now, where was that? I mean, the diversion last night. Oh, God, I didn't get in here till 10 to 1 again. I can't think where it was, but it was in the middle of a main road and there was a load of tents. I saw that last night, actually. Oh, there's Merlin. Hello, Merlin. When I first went to the USA, I was 12. I couldn't understand the homeless people who sat outside the hotel with a sign saying homeless vet. As a kid, I assume it meant veterinarian. Oh, no, that would be veterinarian, as in the army, wouldn't it, I suppose? There's a lot of those out there, aren't there? Military people who have got nothing, they don't seem to look after them. I mean, do they do that here? Stuart, did you prefer the heat in California to the heat in Florida, which is more humid? Can't really say, because at the time of year I've been to both of these places, it wasn't hideously hot. All I will tell you, I would never advise anyone to go to Florida June, July, August. keep away at that time. It is awful the heat there, because I have done that at that time. Okay. Illumix says, read your message on your mobile. What, my mobile phone? There's nothing on there. There's nothing on the mobile number from you there. Okay. Matt has been trying to text you as requested, assuming you're not receiving them. Matt, I'm so sorry, Matt. I never tell people this. If you're on a non-UK mobile phone, it won't work. I'm so sorry, Matt. I meant to tell you that. All right, there. He says it's the first time catching me live since I've been back from California. It's the first time I've been on, to be honest, Matt. Would you ever go back, given the chance, to California? Yeah, to go back to that church, the little church. I'd also go back to the cathedral as well. I would love to go back to that church again. You know, St. Monica's. They've got a real community there. There's a school, various assembly halls and things all going on there. It's wonderful there. Thank you. He hopes I'll come to Canada one day. Yeah, me too. Evening to Bill in Scotland. Charlie Scott, congratulations. 1 year and 10 months of no drinking. Well done, darling. Nearly 2 years. Keep going, girl. Keep going. And hang on a minute. Let me just go back here. DL, you and your posh holiday. Well, it's hardly posh, is it? Come on. You know, it's not really a posh holiday, is it? How's it a posh holiday? High Sense Washer Master 2025. Still don't know who you are. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't know. Is that everything? I think that's everything, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us on the show today, gang. I do a little radio show every morning, which you can watch, but not here on YouTube, I'm afraid. There's a little thing there. There we go. Reach in the morning. There you go. What you need to do is download a little app called Twitch. It's free of charge. Download that on your phone, or it's on your computer as well, okay? And then once you've got your free account set up, just look for me, Chris Reardon UK, tomorrow morning, and I'll be there just after 9 o'clock, probably just before 9 o'clock, okay? I do a little bit of a Disney warm-up every morning now, around about 10 to 9. Anytime from sort of 8:30, I switch on and start playing Disney music, all right? So that's Monday to Friday between 9 and 10 o'clock, although not Tuesday this week, because we're at Chest Doctor on Tuesday. Chest Doctor on Tuesday. I must say, oh, hang on, what am I doing here? Pushing wrong buttons here. I must say, Merlin, I remember having a conversation with you some time ago about your private doctor thing. Now, I don't have medical insurance. I have a little blood condition thing. So when I was diagnosed, I did already have the medical insurance, and the doctor, that special doctor that I go and see for the blood, I said, you know, I've got this medical. Shall I keep this going? He said, no. He said, don't. He says, no point. He said, because they'll probably use what you've got now to try and wriggle out of anything. So I cancelled it. So basically, if I ever did a private doctor, I'd have to do pay as you go. But you know what? I think I would. And this stomach thing has actually been going on since December, believe it or not. They are on it now. But, you know, the treatment that I was given on Thursday is the first treatment that I've been given for it. Crazy, isn't it? So I have, and my friend Roy as well says, you know, pay someone if you're not getting anywhere, which is indeed what I intend to do. Yeah. But I would have to do a lot of pay as you go there. Merlin is watching in his Uber home. What is your Uber home? What is that? Gary Ross, are you getting implants? No. I don't need them, mate. Don't need them. Anyway, I'm off. If you go onto YouTube now, in about a minute and a half's time, you can join my sister and brother-in-law, who I'm not allowed to call him brother-in-law. He said, why do you call me brother-in-law on there? Can you call me Martin from Butler's Empire? So there you go. Go and join, I don't know why you said it. Go and join Martin on Butlin's Empire. and my sister, who are about to start their show. Okay, that's Butler's Empire on the YouTube channel there. Alumax, I hope you had insurance. Oh yes, I got the gold insurance. But the point is, you don't really know what to do. You know, if you are ill over there, you've got this phone number. Okay, I get that bit, right? And you ring it and they tell you what to do. What if you've been run over and you're unconscious? What happens then? Because you can't ring the number, can you? But I carried around this piece of paper with me anyway. Anyway, have a nice day, and I'll see some of you tomorrow morning at reachonair.com or on Twitch at just after 9 o'clock. Thanks for joining me, and another one of these next Sunday. Cheerio.